Hi, I'm Paul Solt from Super Easy Apps, and I want to talk to you about 5 practical ways to quickly overcome a programming obstacle. So, let me give you some backstory. I was recently working on updating an old app called PhotoTable because I've had some customer requests wanting to get it back on the App Store. It was taken off because I haven't updated it. I wrote it for iOS 6. We're now in iOS 17 land, and there's a lot of code that's deprecated. There's a lot of things that were crashing, weren't working. I had to cut a lot of features, and I ran into one issue that I couldn't get to work like I wanted, which inspired me to write this blog post. And I wanted to walk you through it, walk through my train of thought as I'm reapproaching the problem and trying again, trying to overcome this programming challenge. So, without further ado, let's go into it. You've all been there. You've written comments in your code. You write a fix me or to do. Why doesn't this work? This doesn't work like I expect. You've got some chunk of code. It's just not working. And you're hitting your head against the wall and you're frustrated. So, what can you do to overcome that? First thing that I do is I take a step back. And sometimes you just need time away from the problem so you can think a little bit differently. A lot of the things that you can do are around taking a step back, getting away from the problem so that you have more time to think about it, but not in a concentrated fashion. Sometimes your subconscious will be thinking about the problem for you, and you'll come up with a solution without even actually doing anything. It just appears. You just realize it. You're like, oh, I should be doing this differently. So, can you use a different approach? Would an alternate solution be better? Or is this even necessary? Maybe you just need to take a step back. Maybe this is totally not necessary and you're wasting time. Next, talk out loud. This is a big one for me. I find that taking time to talk through the problem, whether you're talking to a rubber duck on your desk, whether you're talking to a coworker, you're talking to your dog or your cats, or you're just talking to yourself in your own office or room, taking time to just articulate what you're thinking is another way to reapproach the problem. It's another way to list all the facts that you understand, all the things that you want to do, and why you don't think it's working. And just articulating that is really important. I do this a lot when I'm preparing for a hackathon, when I'm doing a demonstration or a presentation. Just being able to talk through the idea is super helpful. Next up, take a walk or go for a run. Getting outside, doing something physical is going to change the way you think about the problem, but it's also going to take you away from the problem so that you're not so hyper focused on the small little details and you can see the bigger picture. And so that's really important. When I worked for Apple, I would frequently see Steve Jobs and Johnny Ives sitting out, just chatting. They'd either be walking or they'd be sitting on a park bench in the center of Infinite Loop. So it's so important to talk about your ideas so that you can iterate on them, so that you can refine them, so that you can make them better. Next, read the documentation, do research. This is something that I love doing because so many times when I'm hitting the wall, it's like I can't get past and I don't know what to do. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should read about this a little bit more. Maybe I should watch the tutorial. Maybe I should see what Apple has in their documentation. Maybe I should check Stack Overflow. Is this bug or is this problem that I'm running into something that other people are hitting? Can I find something that's going to unstuck me? And so I do this a ton. I love iPad because I can just take my iPad to the couch. I can take it to my bed. I can read at night. I can put it on my exercise bike while I'm exercising and getting a little bit of physical movement to just start thinking differently, to expose myself to new APIs, new programming languages, or new SDKs. So that's super important. And the reason I like doing it at night is because that's usually time that I'm wasting, like checking social media or reading the news, endlessly just scrolling headlines and not actually caring. If I can just go into an article or if I can do some research, I just feel so much more productive. And then the next day, I already know how to get started. I already know how to hit the ground running. So that's a game changer for me, is reading documentation on my iPad at night so that I'm fresh and ready to go the next day. Next up, set a timer. So this one's really important because I struggle with focusing sometimes. Sometimes I'm so easily distracted that it's hard to rein in the thoughts, the ideas, the distractions, the YouTube videos, the social media, the package that just got delivered. There's so many distractions in our world that it's hard to sometimes focus and concentrate. And so sometimes I need a accountability partner who's not going to judge me, but it's going to keep me on track. And that's why I use a timer. So I set a 25-minute timer. I like the Pomodoro method. I even made an app for this because it really helps me focus in my writing, focus in my coding, focus in my designing. When I set that timer, I have a rule. Don't check social media. Don't check YouTube. Don't go read blogs. Don't ask random questions that are unrelated to the topic at hand and start searching them on Google because you're going to go down rabbit holes. So when you know how to do something, you just got to do the work. And setting the timer is going to help you just focus on it. So if you're stuck and you've done the previous 4 things, sitting down again, reapproaching it and thinking through it, and then evaluating, okay, after that 25 minutes, did I learn something? Did I figure it out? Is this approach better? See what works for you. All right. So let me know what works for you. And if you have any ideas of something maybe I missed in this video. So number 1 is take a step back. Number 2 is talk out loud. Number 3 is take a walk. Number 4 is read documentation or do research. And number 5 is set a timer and just do the work. Sometimes you just got to do the work and you got to grind it out. All right. I hope this was helpful. Let me know down below in the comments and click the like button if you want to see more content like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.